Check, check, check. We are live. Said Mary. The block is back. Greetings, greetings, greetings. So tell a friend, tweet a friend, tell a friend we're on. We're back live. Arlene, I see you. Maxine Willis, I see you. Tell your friend we're live. So you know we all got a full house tonight, right? Mayor Homer Davis in the building. The Senator himself, Charles Sinclair, is in the building. And the tourism mecca himself, Delano Seiveright, is in the building. We'll be loaded with information this evening, guys. So share the program, right? Tell a friend, tweet a friend, tell a friend we're on. We're live on the block. It's back in full effect. So lots of giveaway, lots of prizes, lots of surprises. So tell your friend, tell your neighbor to join us. We are live on the block. Mayor Homer Davis in the building. Senator Charles Sinclair is in the building. And Delano Seiveright is in the building. We have a whole lot to talk about, right? And we're not intended to waste any time this evening because guess what? It's Father's Day, folks. Yeah. So when it's Father's Day, we can't keep these gentlemen out for too long, right? So we have to get them going. And our first guest, who is going to be Delano Seiveright, we know he's got a little boy. So he's absolutely one of the fathers who have to go in a few. He's got this son to take care of. And I can't tell you about the others. Everybody's got young baby these days, you know. So it's a Father's Day treat, folks. Talking about some social issues in and around Montego Bay. The tourism capital, they say, of the world. Not just Jamaica, right? So folks, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get into what we do best, which is bringing you the information as we see it. Before we get there, let me just big up some of the folks. Annette Grant, I see you. Donovan Morgan, good to see you. I see Diane Caston is in the building. I see Alex Higgs is in the building. Lots of the big guns are pulling out. Rupert Ellis, I see you. Angela McKay, I see you. Welcome, welcome. Share it, tell a friend, tell your neighbor. We are live. So, folks, you might have seen for the last couple of days, we've been, hitchhiking all over town, trying to gauge the views and the feelings. So the last couple of days we were in North Central Clarendon, and that experience I will definitely have to share it with you guys. It was great. We meet some of the hardest working party workers you can ever imagine. And that's going to take a whole segment for us to really go into the intricacies of it and to talk about some of my findings, because it's very interesting. But that is for another show. Paula Fuller, I see you. Marlon, big up yourself. Alanda, good to see you. Ian Osborne, good to see you as well. And all the folks, it's such a pleasure to come back again, and you all are here ready, lined up and ready to go. We want to look at some of the, as you know, we've been in lockdown mood for quite a while. Some people, for whatever reason it is, some folks are just tired of staying home. People want to get out. People want to be out and about. So the government really has done a fantastic job as it relates to managing this whole pandemic. I mean, the management of the overall pandemic is at a level where international organizations and countries is looking to Jamaica, looking at our system as best practice. It doesn't get any better than that. So with that, I think the government has now moved into a reopening mode. We cannot stay closed for very much longer. And that's just the reality. No country can operate the way we've been operating. We've managed to do so for that period. I think it's about that time now when we are in the reopening mood. Now, one of the biggest sector in Jamaica is our tourism product. And we saw where every single hotel in Jamaica and every attraction that brings tourists to us were closed. The government has now moved from the 15th of June to reopen. We're in a reopening mood. So most of those hotels are now back on stream. Flights are coming in. And we wanted to get a view and a feel of how it's been, what the fallouts are, and how it's been since we're reopening. You've got this mixed feeling out there of persons giving report of how they feel about the system and their experiences, most of which is positive. We find one or two where persons have their own personal agenda, but for most part, the opening has been tremendous. But I can't say it because I'm not a part of the hotel system anymore. So we sought to find people who we know have the information and can bring the information to us in an accurate and an informed way. So we want to introduce somebody who most persons, if you're not connected by way of the tourism product, then you would be connected by way of the political movement. Mr. Delano Seiveright. Greetings.
Good evening, Chopper. Happy Father's Day to everybody.
Blessings. And the very same to you, my brother. It's
yes, I have another one landing soon, so
wow,
a week or so. So yes, so the doctor is coming next.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
man.
We've always wanted to get you on the program here, Delano, for various reasons. But this, nothing ever happened before the time. I think it's a perfect opportunity for us to gauge your view and to get an understanding. You work extremely hard in the tourism sector to bring us these numbers that we boast about every day. And a lot of people in Jamaica don't realize that when we can put our hands up and boast and knock our chest as being the tourism capital of the Caribbean, it's because of work from people like yourself. Yeah. Now, I want you to, just give the viewers, we're a couple, I know we're going to be a couple thousand persons looking and trying to get some information. Can you give us your overview of what the opening or the reopening is like?
But just before we get to the reopening, let me first congratulate Mr. Andrew Honus and Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett, because they have worked so hard to really, turn tourism around in Jamaica. I mean, last year, Chopper, we were talking about 4.3 million tourists arriving in Jamaica, over $3 billion in revenues. Lots of new hotel investments coming on stream, lots of new villas coming on stream, increased number of people working in tourism. We're now up to, when you include direct, indirect, and induced employment, we're talking about 350,000 people, according to the WTTC. So the industry really has been magnificent over the years. Anybody who certainly lives on the North Coast knows the interconnectedness of tourism, and increasingly on the South Coast, they know the interconnectedness of tourism. People in entertainment, manufacturing, construction, ground transportation, security service, insurance, banking. The whole thing is interconnected, and this is why we saw chopper of reopening, albeit slowly, albeit in a staggered way, because we understand the circumstances that we face. And the truth is that people still afraid to go up on a plane, chopper. I mean, that is clear, as they are. All of us are still afraid to step foot on a plane. But we saw the importance of that, because the truth is we have been bleeding. Let me give you the facts. We have 350,000 people who basically their lives are in limbo. They're either out of a job, or they are on extended leave, or them earning far less money than they are accustomed to. We have 350,000. In terms of direct employment, we're talking 160,000 plus directly employed in tourism. It's as hotel workers and so on. Then we have 50% plus of our foreign exchange, or US dollars, or pound sterling, or Canadian dollars that come into the economy comes through tourism. That money goes into ensuring that the Jamaican economy continues to function, so that people can buy their goods and buy their services and keep the oil on the tires and keep the system greased. That has been a big fallout for us too. And then in addition to that, the tax fallout is big. I mean, if things continue in a sort of slowdown or shutdown sort of way between, say, April 1 of this year to the end of March next year, so the 2020-2021 fiscal year, we're going to lose about $38 billion with a B in tax revenue. This is money that is needed to pay our nurses, to pay our teachers, to keep our police services going, our firefighters, everything. So I want people to understand that when we are pressing for the reopening of tourism, it is in the best interest of everybody, because it needs to happen. Otherwise, we're going to be in some serious economic problems. And already, like everywhere else, everybody feeling the effects of this COVID. It's tough, but we, as a country that is still working our way up, we have to take this very seriously, and we have to get things reopened, and we have to start moving forward. The fact is, Chopper, and I tell everybody, COVID is here to stay, but at the same time, what we have done is to put in place protocols, and I'm sure everybody will congratulate our health minister, Tufton, and the team there for the work that they have been doing. We look at fights from time to time, but we all know that we are working in the best interest of the country, and that's what we're about.
Right. Most people are not cognizant of the importance. I think a lot of people celebrate and enjoy the fact that the economy is doing well, but really and truly don't understand how serious this is. When we have to close every single beach, every single resort in Jamaica, the economic impact.
No, it's big. I'm back channel something. I really respect Andrew Holness. Andrew Holness came up with this vision of saying, I am going to deliver cruise tourism for Port Royal. You remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
No, I've been saying people forget already, and this was just January, January. And the man came into office and said, I'm going to bring cruise tourism to Port Royal, because people have been talking about this for 50 years.
Never happened.
And finally happened. The man did it, despite a lot of people saying, Lord Jesus, that pipe dream will never happen. Even some cruise professionals, the big man in the cruise industry in Miami, look at Prime Minister, you need to focus on Montego Bay and Ocho Rios and Trinidad. You don't bother with this Kingston and Port Royal business with cruise. And you know what? The man stuck to his guns. He carried the vision through with the Port Authority of Jamaica in conjunction with the Ministry of Tourism and everybody, and got the job done. That just shows you the level of commitment that this government has for making change on the sort of vision, the visionary leadership that we had. Anyway, that was then, and no doubt it will come back. But people need to understand that right now the country is losing in terms of total revenues. We're losing about 400 million Jamaican dollars a day. That would usually come in, that's not coming in. And that is having a negative impact on a lot of people who I know for a fact, a number of people are struggling with their light bills and water bill. Well, everybody's struggling with their light bill now. But the water bills, the cable bill, the food, the groceries. I mean, a lot of people. The man who driving that Juta bus, that's a man who eat off tourism. The craft vendor, that eat off tourism. The man who sell, and I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm saying it. The man who sell them look at weed and hustle them look at weed on the beach. Them eat off tourism. the entertainers, the dancers. There's so many people that are in need of help. And the only way to get this done is to slowly reopen the economy. We know it's not going to be fast, but we have to show that we're committed to doing it, while at the same time ensuring that we protect the public health situation. Because we know it's a difficult balancing act. And I know it's a big debate online. I see the arguments on Facebook and everything, Chopper. It's a difficult balancing act, but we have to try and find a way to make it work.
So you must have seen those videos pumping around social media.
Yes.
Where persons are giving mixed reaction. There's mixed reactions out there, but most of it is positive reaction.
Yes.
There's a particular lady who came in recently, and she gave a review breaking down the entire system of how it works. And it was like night and day the difference between one we heard previously. This lady, I think she came out of Chicago, and her review of the whole process from landing to her hotel, where she detailed every single step of it. And that to me was quite spot on. The lady before in her revision said we had military personnel with guns.
You got JFK, I say all the police and soldier at JFK and in London.
So but the lady didn't do that.
Listen, everybody have good and bad experiences when they go to an airport. I mean, them last year back, you get vexed. I used to blast the country where they say, look what them lose my back. These things happen. But let me tell you though, I don't know it really. I think the government deserves a lot more credit than it's getting,
Yes.
When the Ministry of Health and the Prime Minister decide, so you know what? Because I know one thing I tell you with Prime Minister Andrew Honest, he listens to public opinion. He listens to what the people say.
Which
so
is
I know
good.
we wanted the industry to be reopened, and we said, you know what? Let us put some strong protocols in place. But there wasn't that much of a strong testing protocol in place. And people say, no, we want everybody to be tested. No, the truth is, most public health experts will tell you that, no, testing everybody don't make no sense. That's not a rational way to do it. But in any event, in light of the pressure from the people of Jamaica, they say, you know what? We're going to test everybody. And that's what they're doing. I was panicking because I said, Lord, how are we going to test everybody? It can't work. And I'm going to tell you, I'm shocked myself at the success of what is happening at Montego Bay in terms of the Sinclair International Airport, because a lot of people coming in are Jamaicans who have been stuck overseas, and the government has thankfully worked really hard. Kamina Johnson Smith, Matthew Samuda, Dr. Horace Chang, Christoph Dunn, of course, the Prime Minister. Everybody has worked very hard to get these Jamaicans who have been stuck, and we have thousands of Jamaicans in the US, Canada, and other countries who, for varying reasons, need to come back home and need to come back to their families. And we have opened the door for that. Now, in terms of the testing protocols, I am amazed that despite the fact that we have hundreds of people right now, I mean, nothing compared to what we're accustomed to, but certainly hundreds is a lot of people. For those people to be coming in and to be coming out of the airport within 1 hour, in terms of like testing, doing this review, that whatever, bags, everything, and to get out of the airport in 1 hour. And we're seeing the reviews coming in now on TripAdvisor. We see the reviews coming in on video. I saw it on TVJ also. People saying, you know what, the experience wasn't bad. I expected to wait. I waited a little. I waited long, but not as long as I thought, and I got out in time. Well, I tell you, that is testament to the work of our nurses, our public health officials, and I really want to give them credit because I know they're under a lot of stress. I use propaganda out there in terms of the cruise ships and everything. These people have to be managing people coming through Sangster Airport, managing people coming through Norman Manley Airport, managing cruise worker coming into Port Royal, managing cruise worker coming into Falmouth. Is a very difficult job, but they're getting it done. The testing is happening, and I mean Jamaica is really a trendsetter now in the Caribbean when it comes to that.
Well, if you notice, WHO and other countries are looking at Jamaica and looking at what we're doing.
Yeah.
So there must be something positive coming out of that hard work.
No, I'm saying that. Yes, I remember the Miami Herald. The Miami Herald had done a story some weeks ago highlighting that Jamaica was one of the most prepared countries for COVID-19, not just in the Caribbean, but in the Western Hemisphere.
Yes.
And other media outlets overseas have said the same thing, that Jamaica really is prepared. that don't mean that there will be no COVID coming into the country. I think people need to be rational. COVID is spreading all over the world, and there's nothing we can do to stop it.
Jamaica is an exception.
Yeah, Jamaica is no exception. And we do the lockdowns and we do all of that. Yes, everybody, but eventually you have to open up because people are realizing now that the economic cost of the lockdowns is way too debilitating in terms of what
the disease itself.
Exactly. And that's true because there are a lot of people who are sitting at home with hypertension, diabetes, cancer, all sorts of things who are not coming into the hospitals because they're in lockdown. And they are now developing more serious medical problems that also will overwhelm the system going forward. So it's a balance in that, and we have to work it through.
Right. So during this short period of since we reopened, I'm quite certain that the workforce, what was the fallout and what percentage have gone back to work so far? Do you know that?
Right, so we're still in the early days. I mean, June 15 was basically our reopening. A few hotels are open now. So like Rio Ocho Rios, Beaches, Negril, Sandals, Montego Bay, and a few other hotels, S Hotel and others like that, are open now. But it's still nothing compared to what we had before. Right. The next phase of hotel openings will be in July. So between July 1 and say July 20, you're going to see other hotels coming on stream, including like the big Grand Palladium in Hanover, other bigger hotels on the North Coast going to be coming on stream. Or Moon Palace is open since June 15. And then August again is another phase now where you see other hotels are going to be opening. And there are some hotels that intend to open September, October. So what we're doing is the government and the private sector has been working closer together. So rather than open everything one time, it's a phased reopening based on your capacity to open. Some hotels are ready. My protocols in place. We send our team in from TPDCO, Ministry of Health, everybody going to make sure that they're not lying and that they're telling the truth and that they have the protocols in place. Yes, the sanitization, the masks that need to be worn, the social distancing, the pool areas, the food areas, ensuring that the cafeterias, the kitchen, everything is clean and up to standard and being regularly cleaned. All of that is being done. I will tell you, we have, in terms of the task force that Edmond Bartlett had set up, I mean, the guys did wickedly good work. Huge task force, over 40 people, sit down along with PricewaterhouseCoopers Chopper. We brought Terry Bowl, a crisis expert who worked with the CDC in the USA. She came in also, coordinated with us, and we got the protocols done with the Ministry of Health. And there are some of the strictest and some of the best protocols, health and safety protocols that we have for COVID-19. As a matter of fact, I got a message from a senior diplomat in Jamaica from another big country who said other islands in the Caribbean have been asking them for a copy of Jamaica's protocols because they are so good and so firm. So we're taking our time with it. The COVID will be here. As I keep trying to stress that point because I think people have this feeling that you can have no COVID. New Zealand managed to have no COVID, and then as them start to open, some British people can COVID into the country. You can't hide from it. So that's where we are.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that because a few weeks ago we had a friend of ours who stuck in Jamaica for a while, and she went back to the United States. And upon entering the United States, she asked because she figured more than less that some of the protocol that exists in Jamaica would be in the United States or even greater. Now, what she found out was on arrival in the United States, she was asked to quarantine, and the process was like half, or nothing remotely close, no testing, no nothing. So she asked, why? And her story, her argument was that because you're coming from Jamaica, and Jamaica has all the testing, all the protocols in place, she was not required to do the same thing in the United States. And I asked her time and time again because I wanted to know if that was a policy of the United States and the airline, because the airline told her the same thing, that based on the fact that she's coming from Jamaica, she would not be required to go through all the rigors.
No, but as you know, Chopper, the US now, if you're coming from Europe, you have a problem. I mean, they still have a travel ban effectively on most European countries, certainly European Union countries, plus Great Britain, Ireland. The same for Brazil. They announced a travel ban on Brazil, basically. So what it shows is that every country is taking a different policy approach as it relates to how I mean, I think Canada is the most serious. They literally just say nobody not coming in. But you see, when you can afford to do that, that's a great thing. When you can print billions of dollars and just share it up amongst the population, that's a good thing. We can't print money and give everybody and say, don't worry, we're locked down for 1 year. That's not an option. And the fact is no country can sustain the chopper. Spain now. Spain was trying to hold it. Spain say, you know what? We're going to open up our borders now to anybody from Europe who need to come in. And unlike us, they're not testing anybody. They just come and you do a temperature check. They ask you where you're going, leave your phone number, want to enjoy yourself. Because they need their economy to restart. They understand the importance of their people going back to work so they can pay them rent and pay them mortgage and pay them light bill.
And keep the country moving.
Yes, and we have to be realistic too, but we have been far more strict, I believe, in our approach. I would have loved for things to ease up more, but I understand and I know the Prime Minister knows what he's doing and he's balancing everything, and I think he's balancing it well.
But I think the Jamaican people overall, though, Delano, Jamaican people have, in most part, accept these protocols and understand the importance of following through.
Yes. Yeah, I'm seeing an acceptance of that. Certainly the workers, by the way, you know, we've been doing training. The Tourism Product Development Company, which is a part of the Ministry of Tourism, has been doing training of tourism workers, and they have now gotten up to 20,000 tourism workers trained on COVID-19 health and security protocols, health and safety protocols. So basically, those workers now, yes, understand all the mechanisms surrounding keeping themselves safe and also keeping the guests safe. And when they keep themselves safe and they can keep the guests safe, they can keep their families safe. And we're still going on with that training, so we have a couple more thousand people to go through. You should see the pictures at the convention center. People join online like what you're doing here, and you have some people join at the convention center who can't really manage a computer and the phone, but they're socially distant and they go through a whole day of training on COVID-19 health protocols. So I mean, we have gone so far in terms of the work, Chopper. Minister Bartlett, the PM, Minister Tufton have been very insistent. Ensuring that, listen, we have to open up, but we're doing it properly and we're not rushing anything, and that's what we're doing.
Sense. So that brings me to another question, Delano, because if we open now, we have to be realistic that December 15th is our biggest period. I mean, I'm a product of the tourism sector. I worked in there for decades. And I know when it comes December 15th is winter.
Everybody.
For that winter season, do you think we'll go back to the numbers pre-COVID?
You see, let me tell you, one thing with this is this virus, I make no predictions when it comes to COVID-19. Because you don't never know. Today you hear say, oh, we're looking good. Look at the thing is under control. Tomorrow, oh, gone bad. We have to go lockdown again. I mean, it is so hard to predict anything. Our position now, basically, is that we're going to watch it play. We believe that we can get up to at least 50-60% by the end of the year, and that's not bad. That's actually good. If by November, Thanksgiving, going into the Christmas period, we can get up to 50-60%, that would be a major achievement on the part of Jamaica, because we'll be able to get most of the workers back to work. And that is our objective now. In terms of when I think things will really start to improve, Chopper, I mean, I don't know when the vaccine come in. I don't know what's going on. I mean, the management of the virus in the US and other countries leaves a lot to be desired, in all honesty. But in any event, the death rate, the mortality rate as relates to COVID-19, whilst frightening, is actually very low. But it is, yes, it's very low. But certainly for persons above 65 and who have comorbidities, they are at a higher risk. And I think the world will have to, listen, let's be frank, Chopper, people have to live, and people have to eat. We're human beings and we have to get it done. So I think what's going to happen is that younger people below 65 who don't have the comorbidities, would have to get on with life. People above 65 who have comorbidities will have to take precautions, get on with life, yes, but you have to take more precautions than your son or your daughter. And really, that's where we're going to be. So let's see how it plays out.
And that's not a hard I think for most part, persons who are, at the older age seem to be, following the protocols. And we've not had a lot of death. Had it not been
Jamaica
that,
do well. Yeah.
right, if persons were not following, then you would have seen the result in the mortality in the amount of persons go under. So,
and give God thanks, Chopper. I must tell you, and I tell you, people need to really be thankful. You know, when the PM decided to shut down the borders in March, that's a huge decision to make. That's let me tell you, that's a huge decision. But he did it because he said, you know what? Done. And let me tell you, Chopper, the amount of people are calling me and other people trying to. When I tell some of the people who have been calling, when I say footballers from England,
yes,
a lot of people stuck can't come to Jamaica, and I see this government stick to its guns when it comes to managing the borders and really being fair in terms of how they manage things. There's a lot to have for respect.
But how do you relate though, Delano, to the forces? And there's a group of persons out there, and there are people out there who believe that the decision to lock the country down was ill-advised. It was a bad move.
Can you imagine that? No, but the mere fact, and I keep telling people, when we locked down and was March 23, remember that situation where we're all running around trying to find out who came on this flight and who come from New York, who did come on the flight from Miami. It was a good decision because that showed you that at that time you had a true spike of the virus in New York and other places in particular. And it was pretty much being brought into Jamaica. London and New York, as you know, are probably two of the key trouble spots for COVID-19 in the world today. And I think you and I can discuss why that is. I think it's because they are big population centers, they are big international cities. Everybody is on a subway, everybody is in taxi together, everybody on the buses together. These are big public transit cities where everybody move on a subway or something. So I think that's why in cities like that it moves a lot faster. It's a denser population, everybody's stuck together, so obviously it moves faster. But in any event, there was a big decision on the part of the government, and everybody's watching Jamaica. The Bahamas is watching us. So the Bahamas, all right, we open in July 1. They have now said officially, in terms of their broad reopen, it's going to be July 1. And they're working through a testing protocol like Jamaica. So we have a lot to be proud about. So I know we beat ourselves up. The truth is, no decision in COVID-19 is an easy decision. As a matter of fact, I think it's the worst time for somebody to be a politician in this world when you're dealing with COVID-19. And the decisions that you have to make are so difficult, Chopper, where you have to be deciding public health and the economy at the same time and trying to figure out how you balance that. That's a difficult balance, you know.
Yo, you hear about the one ID thing there?
Yeah, dog, but I'm not too sure about that, you know. Because I'm not getting no DNA that too personal.
DNA? Foolish that man, nothing no go so.
But are you so sure about that?
Check it out myself, you don't need no DNA and no bank information to deal with it.
Well, I'm going to check out that for myself.
Real thing, man. Now when they want to go look alone, and you have your ID, the bank deal with the thing little quicker, you see it.
That sound good. One ID, tell me more.
Secure your future and know your facts. Go to www.nidsfacts.com.
National identification coming soon.
Yo, you hear about the one ID thing there?
Yeah, dog, but I'm not too sure about that, you know. Because I'm not getting no DNA that too personal.
DNA? Foolish that man, nothing no go so.
But are you so sure about that?
Check it out myself, you don't need no DNA and no bank information to deal with it.
Well, I'm going to check out that for myself.
Real thing, man. Now when they want to go look alone, and you have your ID, the bank deal with the thing little quicker, you see it.
That sound good. One ID, tell me more.
Secure your future and know your facts. Go to www.nidsfacts.com.
National identification coming soon.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. All right. All right. Now that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some. Jamaica.
One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Come to Jamaica and feel alright. Come
Jamaica. Once you go, you know.
Once you go, you'll know. Welcome back, folks. Delano, you're still there with us.
Yeah, man, I'm here, man.
Yeah, as the ad say, once you go, you'll know. That's the beauty of Jamaica. So, if you have any questions for Delano Seiveright, please feel free to ask your questions. Like we said before we break, Delano, there is a bunch of Jamaicans who are overseas. And also, there's a bunch of Jamaicans who want to leave on a short, whether it's for business or pleasure, to go into the United States and come back. What do you say to persons who are here, who wants to go and come back in a week or two, or persons who are there and want to come home? What are the protocols?
So if you want to come back to Jamaica, as you know, we have the Jam COVID. You go online, you search for Jam COVID, you register there. You can also go and visit Jamaica.com. It carries it's the same connection, the same interface. You go to visitjamaica.com, you plug in your information, you book your flight, you're probably going to get approved anyway in no time. The approval comes through, you go on your flight, you come back to Jamaica, you're good to go. Once you come in, you're probably going to get tested. If there are some countries that you can come in from that you don't get tested, choppers, you know, travel bubble countries like the Cayman Islands, some Caribbean islands where there's not much of a COVID-19 crisis. You will not be tested. But if you're coming in from the United States, Canada, or the UK, you will be tested. So once you come in, you decide, you come off the plane, you go through the hallways, you're going to be asked some questions again. You go through that process, and then you eventually end with a test. And that's where you do that PCR, that nasal test and whatever. And they stick that thing, and I hear it's not bad. I hear it's very gentle. I don't want it, but I hear it's very gentle. Yes. And you're into the country. And then, of course, you have to, it's advised that you stay at home for a certain period of time. So the protocols are actually very clear. What's that, Chop?
Is it advised that you stay at home, or is it mandatory that you stay at home?
It depends. It depends. Certainly, if you test positive, obviously, if you test positive, is a different situation. You're either going to go in state quarantine, or the government is going to mandate that you stay home. If you test negative, you're fine. But of course, you have to follow the general protocols that every Jamaican, everybody on the island will have to abide by, or that the government has put out. So that's pretty much where we are now.
So
it's not a bad process. It's improving. The big problem was the flights, Chopper. Lots of people could get any flights in. Yeah, that was a big problem, you know. And the truth is, the airlines, it was a lot of negotiations, and as part of reopening the country for tourism, you're then able to basically reopen the country for Jamaicans who have been stuck overseas who need to come home.
So in layman terms, if you come in from overseas, you go through the protocol, you do all the necessary fandangles, and you get your testing.
Yes.
Once you're tested negative, you're good to go.
You're good to go. Once your result comes back negative, you're good to go. Most people get their results between, say, 24 to 72 hours. So it can take up to 3 days. Certainly in that 3-day period, you should stick tight.
So between that 24 to 48 hours that your testing is being processed,
best to stay home.
Stay home.
Best to stay home, yes. We don't want you all over the place gallivanted.
That's mandatory to stay home.
Well, you know what? The government expects people to abide by the rules.
Yeah.
In terms of enforcing the rules, I mean, just like in the UK and other countries where they're instructing people to stay home and some people just don't want to stay home. That's a problem.
At what stage does the geofencing monitoring system comes in?
All right, so I know Senator Samud and Dr. Chang have been very, very big on the geofencing modeling. I believe it's basically on track for implementation, but I don't want to speak too much on it because it's a national security matter. But it's actually quite novel. I think it's an excellent idea to monitor people through technology, and I'm happy that we're using more technology because we just don't have the manpower. We can't have the police who deal with crime and other issues to be running down people who not staying home and who stay there. It cannot work.
Right.
The geofencing helps from a technological point of view to know where people are, and where necessary, you send public health and maybe a police officer to go and find out what's going on. And I know that has been happening.
Awesome. We're not seeing a lot of questions coming through, but I'm quite certain that what you are saying, persons are totally understanding of the information that you have disseminated just now. Delano, we don't want to keep it too late because we know you have a lot to do. We have a lot of work ahead of you, my brother. I think the action of the ministry, especially tourism ministry, and I want people to appreciate the work, because when we boast these numbers,
it's a lot of work.
Top of the sky.
You know the work involved in tourism. It's very time consuming. I must tell you, it really takes up.
You don't have an address, right?
You don't have no address. I mean, you have to be on the road all the time, and you have to be shooting down every little propaganda. It's because everything's on the internet now, Chopper. You have to deal with everything now,
Right.
Anybody can bring you down.
And that's why it is important for programs like this to be supported, because we try to bring the facts. We're not coming here with some half-baked stories. We get to the persons who have the accurate information.
Yes. And we need to share the facts. I think you have some videos that a number of people have shared positive experiences by tourists and locals alike. These are things we must put out there. My mother lives in Philadelphia and she's sending me some negative thing. And I said, Mommy, no. And I send her back some. She said, look at that. Let me share it with my group. You see, but the negative news move faster than the positive news, Chopper. You know that.
Well, I have some of those videos, and I'm certain those videos are going to be posted on our pages. I'm coming from Bahamas in a couple of months. Do I need to go? And yes, you have.
For now, yes. Until we decide, until the government decides to get rid of jam COVID, everybody have to go and jam COVID. If the day come when we get rid of it, then no problem. You come as normal. But for now, definitely.
Right. Let's see. There's another question here. Trying to get a few questions in. I hope nobody.
It's a democracy. That's what I love about democracy. We are free.
Okay, and that's it. Right here, we are candid and open,
Yeah, we are. We take it all from everybody.
Other space, the information is skewed.
You can't get you this teeth.
Yeah, you get raw facts. So yes, another question, but I guess this person just wants to say to you, Delano, that you guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, we're trying.
And I will agree with that, because I know what goes into the work. We're trying to touch base with you sometimes, and today you're in point A, tomorrow you're in point B, you're all over the world.
And we really have a lot of work. We have a lot of work to do now to really build back, because imagine going from 4.3 million arrivals last year, Chopper, to 0.
Well, you know something, Delano, and I want to pick your brain on this, because I know we have. Just remember, folks, we have Mayor Homer Davis, we have Senator Charles Sinclair, who is coming in a few minutes. But I have to say this to you, because I follow tourism numbers and I follow different attractions all over the world. While we are boasting 4.5 thereabout million in tourism arrival.
Yes.
I am looking at countries like Singapore, which is the size of Hanover, for example. They have nothing remotely close to what we have in terms of attraction.
Nothing.
Why can't we bring 15 million and 19 million and 21 million tourists?
Well, let me tell you, we're going to get there in a Chopper, and this is why governance is good. This government has been in office for 4 years, and the things that we have achieved in that 4-year period, I must say, is phenomenal. Certainly on the tourism standpoint, in terms of the amount of money we have brought in and the investments that are coming in.
Yes.
Right now on track, we have a 2,000 room resort that is supposed to be built in Hanover. Ground should be broke. Well, COVID, of course, come and interrupt it, of course. But ground for that should have been broken this year. We have another 1,600 room plus hotel that's going to be built in St. James. Ground should have been broken on that later this year. But again, that was interrupted by COVID. And hopefully next year that will be on track. We have H10 in Delano, which is already done. The first phase, 500 rooms. You have another 400 plus rooms that are currently under construction in Trelawney, and that too is another 400 plus rooms. And then we have St. Anne, where we have a number of other projects on stream. So the day will come when we get to the 10 and the 15 million, and I think it will come faster than slower, certainly as the years go by. But also, it is in Jamaica's interest that we ensure that we don't overdevelop Jamaica, that we don't have an unsustainable tourism product. We want something that is still rooted in our culture as much as possible. We want something that is, rustic in nature. We don't want an overbuilt environment for Jamaica. That's not the kind of tourism we want here. We want boutique tourism. We want more boutique tourism. We still have all inclusive, but we need more boutique tourism, and we need more money to flow into community tourism efforts like Treasure Beach and Bluefields and other places like that need the tourism dollars, and we need it going right down into the community so the people can benefit.
Well, we're gonna take one more question for Delano, guys, because we have 2 more guests who's gonna come on, and we want to make sure that we give everybody adequate time.
They have done a good job in Montego Bay.
Absolutely.
I mean, the fact is, when a lot of people talk about the state of emergency in a chopper, people forget that in 2017 you had 342 murders in Montego Bay.
People have short memory.
And now we have 100 plus last year, which is still high. But it shows you that the government has worked. They dropped the murder rate from 50 to 70% decline in murders. You have to acknowledge that as an achievement.
Yeah.
But you have to keep saying it.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have 2 of the best persons to relate to these numbers that you just quoted a while ago in St. James. There's Kirk Rodney has one question there. He's asking how long is the result?
The truth is it varies, but the Ministry of Health I know aims for a 24-hour to 48-hour period. But I give it up to 3 days. And if there's an exceptional case, there are ways in which to communicate and say to the authorities that you need your result now and find out what's going on. And I must tell you, they communicate. They communicate. They have a call center. They have everything set up. There's a problem. You can communicate with someone. You can get some answers.
Awesome. Delano?
If they can't get the answers, they can go and chop a page on any other page and cuss, and you'll get the answer.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, boss, it is a pleasure. Chopping Block has always wanted to have persons like you on, and I don't want it to be a stranger, man. Please.
No, we won't, and it's important because you'll be surprised at the amount of people watching Chopping Block.
I didn't know.
And I told you there are a number of people who have sit down and watch this show religiously, and it's interesting. They don't say anything. They don't comment. I call them the silent majority.
Yes.
Yes.
We appreciate them, and we look out for those persons, and we'll continue to put the information out there as best as we can. All we want to do is to help Jamaica to grow and to become a first world country. That's my aim and objective.
And we can do it. We can do it with the right, and we have the right leadership. We can do it.
Delano Seiveright.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Respect. Happy Father's Day again to everybody.
Yes, to you, my brother.
And to all your viewers.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, and we look forward to talking to you again.
Good.
All right. So, folks, that was Delano Seiveright giving us a good overview on the reopening of the hotel sector. We're going into some real politics. We're going into some real conversations now. We have Senator Charles Sinclair. We have Mayor Homer Davis. You notice I said Mayor Homer Davis and not his worship the mayor. Because him say not in the chambers now, so we have to keep it real. Mayor Davis, welcome to the block. How are you?
Thank you, Chopper. I mean, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to join you and your listeners tonight.
Thank you, sir.
But before I comment further, I'd like to say a big shout out to all the good fathers and all the mothers who father their children also. You know, today is a special day for fathers, and I hope that, you know, well, every day should be a special day for fathers, but, you know, today is recognized as such. And so I say a big shout out to all the fathers here in Jamaica, but especially in Montego Bay.
And the very same to you, sir. You have served us well in your capacity, not just in your father. I remember we having a conversation in another space some time ago, and you were classified as one of the fathers of St. James. So it's quite fitting now. We also have Charlie, better known as Charlie Sinclair.
How you doing, Chopper?
How you doing?
Good night. Want to say good night to all your viewers. Good night to all the viewers. And I just want to also big up the fathers on this Father's Day. Today I spent a few hours in my division with some young men who are themselves fathers and who did a little cookout. And I was pleased to hear the comments of these young men with the attitude that they had towards their children, you know, and it was uplifting. And I spent a few hours with them, have a meal with them, and I'm now back home with my little one here. You're probably hearing him in the background, but he sticks close to me, trying to do my part as a father. Roma? Okay, see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy Father. I want to delve into some of the issues surrounding Montego Bay, Mayor, in your capacity. I mean, the town itself is looking up. I drive around Montego Bay, and I can testify that the town itself is looking up, it's sharp. There's still some stuff that needs to work on, but it's looking up. Talk to us about some of the plans. I know Close Harbor, for example, a new fire station is being built. Talk to us about some of the new development coming on stream.
Let us back up a bit, Chopper.
Yeah.
In 2016, when I assumed the office of the mayor of the city of Montego Bay, there were certain things that needed to be corrected. And one of those things were the sidewalks in and around the city. Mm-hmm. And we have spent the first 2 years in office really focusing on, you know, rebuilding our sidewalks to make it more friendly for pedestrians. So far, we have done over 10 kilometers of sidewalks around the city of Montego Bay. So that was a big achievement for us. We have also set out with the National Solid Waste Management Authority to work with their local management here to make sure that the city is kept in a, you know, very, very clean way. Sometimes it is a challenge to achieve that because, you know, our citizens, they're just quite indisciplined at times. So as a result of that, you know, that's one of the challenging areas that we have. But so far, you know, I can give the National Solid Waste Management Authority, headed by Mr. Edmondson, I can give him, you know, a thumbs up because he tries to keep the city clean. And, you know, what I need for persons to know is that we work as a team. The police, solid waste, the public health, we work as a team because, you know, there's a saying that a chain is as strong as its weakest link. And so I seek to get that consensus among all the critical agencies of government. Montego Bay has been moving leaps and bounds. As you have heard me said before that, you know, it is the fastest growing city in the Caribbean. We have been doing a number of things in terms of the infrastructure development in the city of Montego Bay, in terms of the BPO sector, in terms of the commercial sector, in terms of the airport expansion, in terms of the road network in and around the city of Montego Bay. And so it is not only us who had regarded Montego Bay as the fastest developing city, it was a magazine that someone sent it to me that this is how they see Montego Bay as the fastest developing city, because things are changing every day. And Close Harbor Beach, now under construction, will give the city a new look. The fire station is under construction, will give the city a new look. So Montego Bay is looking up. Montego Bay is looking up, and with the sidewalk projects on the Godfrey Dyer Boulevard, on the Kent Avenue, on the Jimmy Cliff Boulevard. And you must notice also, Chopper, that we have been changing out some of these Anglo-Saxon names. Gloucester Avenue, it has no relationship to here in Jamaica. And we're looking at a number of other streets to give them, to rename those streets of some of our people who have done so well and have contributed so much to the city of Montego Bay. So, you know, that's a path that we are on, and we expect to continue on that path. The Charles Garden Market is one such place where it is very close and it is very dear to me. And so I have expended quite a bit of my time to make sure that the market remains in a condition that is, it might not be ideal, but it's more suitable at this time for vendors who apply their ground provisions there. But so far, Chopper, I am comfortable of the support that I get from my team that I lead at the St. James Municipal Corporation. I could not do it alone. Senator Sinclair, he himself a former mayor, I have gotten a lot of support from him. We work together in the best interest of the city of Montego Bay. And so do all other 11 councillors that are a part of the majority. But so far, I am comfortable with the direction in which the city is going. I know COVID has put a spanner in our wheel, because it has eased up quite a bit of the infrastructure activities that should be about as we speak. Because even our bypass it's not off the books, but you know, it is on a little delay, but it will come on stream. And I'm hoping that when we return this government for the second term, it will be one of the first projects to start here in the western city of Montego Bay. So all in all, I mean, I am very upbeat, I am very optimistic. Our Prime Minister is leading us in the right direction. He handles not only the COVID, but he handles the management of this country that any country can emulate. And so I am confident that under the leadership of the most honorable Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, we will continue to grow as a country, and we will continue to do the things that will allow our people to live in a very prosperous way.
Perfect. It's a good time to bring in Senator Sinclair, because he also is neighboring he's a part of the municipal council with respect to his councillor position, not neighboring divisions, but still a part of St. James, still a part of Montego Bay.
We are like a pea. We are like pea in a pod, Chopper.
Yes. But Senator Sinclair, one of the things I wanted to, we were having a discussion outside of this forum a couple of days ago, and the persons were looking at the crime situation. Montego Bay, Mr. Mayor and Senator Sinclair, and Senator Sinclair, you can take us up on this. Montego Bay crime numbers, the first SOE and Zozo that was implemented were implemented in Montego Bay.
Yes, that is correct. The Zozo came in first. If I recall, Zozo was what, 2017?
Yes.
In September of 2017, in the Mount Salem, area.
Yes.
In Mount Salem police area, specifically Mount Salem, the district of Mount Salem, that had serious issues as relates to criminal activity. Serious criminal activity too, including gun violence. And it's an area in Mount Salem that if you walk through that particular area, Chopper, you would notice that the infrastructure was lacking compared to many other areas, even other areas in Mount Salem. You had poor drainage, you had poor road infrastructure, you had persons without birth certificates, you know, and without a birth certificate, it's as if you have no identification.
Right.
You can't start the process in many respects. And so Zozo, which I think a lot of persons did not realize at the outset, when they heard about Zozo, they thought about it only as a security measure. But the Zozo has attached to it a social intervention aspect, which is critical to the development of communities. And so it's formulated on the principle of clear, hold, and build. You know, when I first spoke about a state of emergency for Montego Bay, it was because of what I was seeing happening, where under the PNP administration, they took over in 2012 and held the reins of government up to February of 2016. Over that period in St. James, murder was going up at a rate of 20% year over year, Chopper. And murders that I was seeing taking place over that period of time was more bizarre than what anybody would be used to. I mean, you will have murder in many different countries. We have been having murder in Jamaica for as long as anyone can remember. But when it happens in open, broad daylight, in public space, in a situation where persons were expending many bullets in killing one particular person, it triggered something in me that I said, no, I think we need something a bit more security measures, put it that way.
Yes.
And when I looked at the possibilities, consider the legislation that existed, I said, you know, we may need a state of emergency. And I suppose it took many persons by surprise that I would have made that comment, for the fact that professionally I'm an attorney and deal with the defense of persons who interact with the law. And I suppose it sounded strange coming from someone in my capacity, and also a political representative, because politicians don't want to have a situation where individuals are restricted in their freedom.
So you had a twofold
community person, as a community person,
yes,
and somebody who thinks that we must do whatever it takes to ensure that persons maintain their life, right? And that is a primary function of government, you know, the security of its people.
Yes.
And I made the comment. The Prime Minister, I must lift my hat to him, because he heard my comments and he considered it. He came to Montego Bay and he sat with stakeholders in Montego Bay at the office of the Prime Minister, including his security personnel from the JDF, from the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And he came up with this novel idea. He said, we're not going to a state of emergency, but we will look on the Zozo, right? Which is came about on the principle of clear, hold, and build. And when I looked at the legislation, Chopper, as a senator, and we went through it, we discussed it, it was passed, I said, you know, this has a good aspect to it, which is a social intervention. And it was implemented in Mount Salem. And I think it has done tremendously well in that area. In respect to what I've seen, the crime is down. In fact, there have been no murders in that particular area where the Zozo.
If you have that kind of statistic there, Senator Sinclair, what do you say to your opposition colleagues who are now adamant that the Zozo and the SOE, none of those two initiatives are working?
Well, Chopper, you know, I suppose they are only there to oppose, you know. And I don't look on politics in that way. when there is something that is beneficial to the people, then you must say it and you must admit it. Because they started out, they criticized the Zozo, then you hear them saying, oh, we want Zozo all over the place. You know, they're playing politics. And when I sit in the Senate and I watch some of them and how they vote even on the state of emergency, because in the Senate, we need opposition support, you know. We need at least one opposition senator voting with government in order to get the 2/3 majority that is needed. And they will just give us the one vote. You have senators who have opposed and voted against, and you have some who abstain. And guess what, Chopper? On the last occasion when the SOE had to be renewed, every opposition senator voted in favor of it. So when I have sat and we have looked at it over the period of time, what they are doing is playing politics with this thing. They are playing politics. You know, and it causes me to wonder whether persons who operate in that way should ever be given the chance of leading this country. If all they can do is look and playing politics with the lives of people, I don't think those are dangerous people, and they should not be given the reins of leadership of Jamaica.
I agree with you. Now, Mayor, from where you sat during this whole implementation of the Zozo and state of emergency, none were in your area, your specific division, Cambridge division. You didn't have an SOE or a Zozo in your area.
No, well, remember now, the state of emergency covers the parish of St. James.
The entire parish.
Which my division is a part of the parish. But as I said over and over, I heard the state of emergency is not working, but it is working for St. James. We are now at about, I said it, we are now at about 50 murders, and we are actually midway through June. I remember last year, the total murder for the year 2019 was over 100. Previous years, at this time, we were looking down like at about 150 murders, 130 murders. The statistics are there to show. So I can say with all certainty and confidence that the SOE is working in the parish of St. James. And for this, I must give the members of the security forces and the citizens of St. James, commendation. Because the security forces can't work without the intelligence from the citizen. Right. So it's not a one hand clapping. It's both hands that are clapping. So for the security forces, I have to commend them for the job that they have been doing and commend the citizens and continue to encourage the citizens that they must give the security forces all the level of intelligence that they need to fight this crime. Because, I mean, I was over in my own division this afternoon over a section named Yarbush. And because of the peace and tranquility that is taking place right across the parish, they were able to have a nice Father's Day where they feed all the fathers, have some games. The kids were out in large numbers, parents were out in large numbers. And it's because of what is happening, right? And if it wasn't for the COVID restriction in terms of, certain discipline, I'm sure that would have had a couple hundred more people over there.
Right.
So, it is working in St. James, yes. From time to time, we have seen and we have heard some gruesome crime, especially murders that takes place in broad daylight and stuff like that. And it sort of put everyone on edge. But, 50 murders at this time. I would like the statistics to go back and show us when was the last time.
At this stage in the year.
50 murders at this point of the year.
Yes.
So, it was working for St. James.
If I can,
it was working for St. James. And from my information, it is working elsewhere. but I can only speak for my parish.
Yes, you're saying Senator Sinclair wanted to come in.
Just to give us some quick statistics on it, Chopper, and you can look at it. Last year, remember the PNP voted not to support the SOE extension in St. James, and so we existed without SOE between January and about April, thereabout May in last year. And in the previous year, we had the SOE which ran the entire year from January right through to December. We came down from 300 and about 45 murders in 2017. In 2018, the murder rate for that year went down to about 100 at the end of 2018. In the 2019, we started out without SOE, and at the end of the year, when we got it back, if you were looking at what was taking place without the SOE in 2019, the first half of 2019, and when the SOE was reintroduced for the latter part of 2019, you can clearly see that the SOE has worked in St. James because the murder rate was up, and you look at it went down after the SOE was reintroduced. We ended up 2019 with a higher number than the previous year, and that is accounted for the period when there was no SOE. And now we are working on SOE, and as Mayor Davis has said, we are at 50 after half the year. But guess what, Chopper? Look at this. Where we are now, it is the lowest in 25 years.
But how could that be? That couldn't be right, Senator Sinclair. How could that be? When there are forces out there saying that the initiatives, especially Zozo and the SOE, they're not working. Matter of fact, one of your colleagues in Parliament recently, not in the Senate, but in Parliament, made mentions and made reference to Montego Bay, St. James being the first parish to have a SOE, and it is not working. That came from none other than the opposition spokesman and national security.
Well, I don't know what he's looking at, but the statistics are there and can be shown to anyone. And you can go on the Constabulary Force website, and it is there. It's clear for everybody to see. So, in fact, it was reported on by Senator Matthew Samuda in a recent presentation that he did in the Senate. So, and nobody opposed it. The records are there, Chopper. 25-year low on 25-year low in St. James.
Wow. Wow.
So and other crimes are other serious crimes are down nationally.
Right. Yes. So there you have it, and that's why I keep saying to persons that we're not here to spread propaganda and to just run around with information. We want to get the statistics and the facts. And what you have just outlined there, Senator Sinclair, is information that persons are to chew on. You're saying that we're down the lowest in 25 years. 25 years low. Mayor, that must be attributed to the policies implemented by this government.
It is a major.
I think part of your shot. Mayor, you want to step back?
It is a major improvement.
Yes.
It is a major improvement over previous years, Chopper. And what I would like to point out is that in that same period, when the PNP voted not to continue the state of emergency, in that 3 months, we jumped from an average of 7 murders per month to 15 murders per month. And so that is what...
That small decision not to support SOE is the contributing factor for that increase.
Right, has cost us some 30 additional murders. Hadn't it been for that, the year 2019, we would have been below 100 murders.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I am saying that the state of emergency is working for St. James. And I remember even in my own commentary, right? And even speaking to some members of the PNP here in Montego Bay, they were saying, Mr. Mayor, do everything that you can do in your powers that the government reinstate the state of emergency.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So let us understand it is working in St. James.
Well, I'm
It is
happy.
working in St. James.
I'm very happy, Mayor, that bit of information coming from yourself and Senator Sinclair is out there, because I think persons were of the view, because sometimes, you know, especially on social media, Mayor, it's a person with the loudest voice, Senator Sinclair, that actually wins the crowd. And what you've been hearing recently, I know you're aware that the opposition is really on a campaign to disseminate information, their facts, not the facts, but their version of the facts. And their version of the facts is that the initiatives and SOE, those initiatives are not working.
But you know, let me just say something to you. Know.
Yes.
When there is murder taking place, wanton murder.
Yes.
And then and fear is instilled in people. And you develop this culture. And it becomes ingrained in the society.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if we were still going at the rate that we were going prior to SOE?
Wow.
Cornwall Regional Hospital, with dengue, with the potential of COVID. You have persons, when I look in the communities, and in particular in the community that I represent, the flankers community, I see a difference in the attitude of the young men, you know. Because guess what happened? This culture of that was getting into their minds, where they had to be always on the defensive, not looking at other opportunities that are potentially open to them to get involved in training and so forth and to go to work. They were just caught up in this, I have to defend my turf type of thing. I have to be looking out of my eyes carefully to ensure that I am not attacked. I have to be careful where I go to.
But
Senator, in the attitude of the people. I hear some young people to me and they want to go and do training. We have a training center in Flankers which was open in conjunction with Heart.
Yes.
Many young people have crossed borders because of it. They don't turn in violence. They have gone to the training center. They have been trained and they are out in the working world. You know, Dr. Chang presently is working with the Jamaica Defense Force to create a training center where 500 young men can potentially be trained every year. Just in the Flankers area, across the road from the community itself where the automotive school is located. And if you pass and you on the main highway, the Elegant Corridor,
yes,
you will see the area being enhanced with better protection, because it is going to be a training center. The Jamaica National Service Corps persons will be trained there. Young men who get into that program will be trained there, be trained by JDF soldiers in different fields.
Senator, and for the viewers, if anybody know where Flankers is coming from, you would appreciate where they are today.
Chopper, when I just became the council for that community, it would be funeral after funeral after funeral for young men. In 1 year, we had close to 40 young men being murdered in Flankers. We went through last year, there were only 2 murders in Flankers in last year, no, 2. So it has come a long way. We have worked, myself, Dr. Chang, we have worked with the community. There is a Peace and Justice Center that is established there. It has been expanded thanks to the contribution of other community stakeholders.
Yes.
Sandals in particular, Sandals Foundation has made a tremendous contribution to putting up a structure there. And, you know, I invited the Prime Minister there on one visit. And when he got there, he saw the potential of the Peace and Justice Center. And a request was made for him to provide furniture. And one morning, we just woke up and a call came that there was a truck with furniture on its way.
Yes.
to the Peace and Justice Center, where youngsters go there in order to do training for various things, including homeworks, a homework center. Persons are trained there. They do their CXC from there. They have been getting passes. When schools suspend students and they don't have anywhere to go, they come to the Peace and Justice Center. So we work with them in order to ensure that they are up and running and are able to provide a service, not only to the community, but to kids from outside of the community.
Awesome.
So I think we're on the right track. And once you don't have crime and violence in a space,
yes,
people look on getting the real benefit from the services that are available within the community.
Right. Well, I applaud you because Flanker, and anybody who knows Flankers will tell you, Flanker was the epicenter of crime and criminality some time ago in Montego Bay, in St. James. And that has changed. Flanker is now, could very well be viewed as a model community. From where you're coming.
I want to agree with you on that. In fact, I was looking at a report and I pointed it out to them here and I said, there was a comment from the High Command in St. James that made reference to certain places where certain things were found. And I did not see the name Flankers in it. And I had to point it out to my other council colleagues because I felt proud about that fact. But they have come a long way. And we have further to go. We have further to go.
Well, you know, we're gonna take a quick break, Mayor and Senator Sinclair. But when we come back, folks, we want a reaction to two things. One is the Linstead Market, you know, where that municipal police dismantled that cart that was illegal vending, and their reaction. I want to get you guys' view on the action of those police, because I'm quite certain that the same police system mechanism is present in the municipal council in St. James. And I don't know how Mayor would react if one of his municipal police were to. So we come back, we'll pick up on that. And also, I will not allow you both to leave unless we talk about the expulsion of two members of the St. James Municipal Council recently, as they put it out in the space, got kicked out. We want to know why. Don't leave, because a little birdie, Mayor, slipped me a note and told me some stuff that you might be surprised when you hear. We'll be right back, folks. Stick on.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. All right. All right. Now that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some. Jamaica.
Jamaica. Once you go, you know.
Yo, you hear about the one ID thing there?
Yeah, dog, but I'm not too sure about that, you know. Because I'm not getting no DNA that too personal.
DNA? Foolish that, man. Not no go, sir.
But are you so sure about that?
check it out myself. You don't need no DNA nor no bank information to deal with it.
Well, I've got to check out that for myself.
Real thing, man. Now when they want to go look alone, I have your ID, the bank deal with the thing little quicker, you see it?
That sound good. One ID, tell me more.
Secure your future and know your facts. Go to www.nidsfacts.com.
National identification coming soon.
Right, so there was a time, when there was a time when there was a lot of information going out there about NIDS. And all I had to do was to go to nids.com and get my information. Senator Sinclair, you're back. And we're going to have you kick it off because 2 of your colleagues were dismissed recently from the St. James Municipal Council based on their attendance record. And that has been a sore point all over Jamaica. You were integral in that proceedings as the legal mind. They say most people in certain space say, I've been passing by a few PNP corners and they say, who is the orchestrator? The one Charlie. Talk to us a little bit about what happened there, Senator Sinclair. And I know Mayor's back with us too.
All right, Chopper, let me say this. The way that it is being stated, and you are guilty of it too, about me being orchestrator and that they were dismissed.
It's what me hearing, Charlie. I just
want to clear it up.
Yes.
For yourself and for the public.
Yes.
The Local Governance Act is the act. It also incorporates what previously was contained in the Representation of the People's Act that spoke to the election of councillors. It is the council election, everything relating to it is contained in the Local Governance Act. So that is the act under which you are elected as a councillor, and that is the act also under which you can be removed by different processes. You can be disqualified, you can be suspended. Mayors can be impeached under the Local Governance Act. So it speaks to how you get in as a councillor and how you can be removed as a councillor. No, in this particular instance, we did not dismiss any councillor. And I did not orchestrate anything. They caused it on themselves, Chopper, because you cannot be elected as a councillor with stated duties. You have stated duties. We have a handbook that guides us as councillors as to how you are to perform your duties.
Yes.
It simplifies the process. They don't have to look in the legislation, follow the handbook. Every councillor is issued with a handbook by the municipal corporation when they become a councillor. And you offer yourself a service of people, and you must carry out your duties faithfully. I've been there from 2003. And it's not a show-off thing, but I do my utmost to ensure that I attend meetings and carry out my function dutifully with integrity as a councillor. So when a councillor chooses to absent himself, we never did anything to him. Yes? Right. Chopper, you could have pointed out to the secretary manager, the CEO of the council, that I noticed that these councillors are missing and not performing their duty in compliance with the Local Governance Act. And it would have to be checked. Once the records are checked, you are disqualified. It is just confirming that you have disqualified yourself.
So this is just a mere administrative function.
It is an administrative function. It covers 4 positions. 1, if you are convicted and sentenced to 1 year in prison, you are disqualified as a councillor.
So this has nothing to do with the political electorate making a decision from a political standpoint.
Has nothing at all to do with that.
And so for the persons out there who believe that this was a political move by the mayor and his councillors to remove these persons.
Not so. Chopper, I think that from our part, and Homer can speak for himself, but I think Homer has been very fair as a chairman of the council. I'll be honest with you, because if we were to do political things, it could be easy. You know, we have 13. We can vote and don't give them no money at all to spend on them division. You know.
Yes.
It is not impossible, because how the parochial fund has to be dispersed amongst the divisions. It can be taken to finance meeting and we can vote. And I want to show you something, Chopper. I want to show you something. In the previous administration, Harris was the mayor.
Yeah.
They had 13. And you talk about water. Homer will tell you the expenditure on water later on. But listen up on this one. They voted on the resources. When resources came from the ministry, from central government to the council, you know what JP divisions got? 800,000. You know how much PNP divisions got? $11 million for water, even downtown Montego Bay.
So slow down there, Senator. Slow down, because there are some persons here.
Get off it. I just want to clear up the point to say we never did anything. They failed in their duty and their responsibility. The CEO checked the records, which is conclusive evidence, and the law says once that exists, you're immediately disqualified. We did nothing.
But I listened to the arguments, and Councillor Troop said the mayor could have used his discretion.
May have no discretion. None.
He's the chairman of the council. He could have used his discretion and said, boy, you know, let me be lenient on these guys, especially Councillor Ben.
Chopper, the mayor has no discretion in this.
No discretion.
We could be looking and debating an issue as to whether they should be suspended. Because Councillor Troop was suspended there.
I remember that. Yes.
But in that situation, that's a different situation. So we have to bring a resolution in that situation. We have to debate the resolution. The charges were established. Vote had to be taken. Vote was taken, and Councillor Troop was suspended. Right? That is what happened there. In that situation, in this situation, the CEO was asked to check the records of the council, which he did. Mayor gave him the opportunity. He asked for 5 minutes. The mayor said take 10. He sent and got the records, the minutes of the council.
Yes.
And he checked it. I asked if you go back to the tape. I said, because he was going through everybody's attendance. And I said, well, ensure that we're keeping score.
Yes. Yes, I remember that.
And it came out that way. Chopper, it hurt me to know that somebody who put themselves up to represent people,
yes,
who has been amongst us, and that person failed the people of their division. Because you come there to represent, the only place you can properly represent, put forward resolution, put forward motion, get it voted on for allocations to come to your division is a council meeting.
Right.
So where were they? You're not even send an apology, man. I don't think they respected the people who elected them. They didn't respect them.
Colleagues as well, because you could have at least notified them.
Look here, Chopper, David Brown, councillor, went off on a government-sponsored program to China. He never took up himself and went. And Chopper, I was literally lying in my bed, you know. I said, but how long is David gone for? And I sent him a WhatsApp message, and he told me when he was coming back. And I said, no, man, he's going to miss 3 meetings. And he has not gotten the appropriate permission. So I instructed him, say, look here, David, do a letter, ensure you sign it, scan it, email it. And one of us will do the presentation at the appropriate council meeting.
So it's entered into the minutes.
So yes, so we as a caucus, the Jamaica Labour Party caucus, we look out for our councillors. Councillor Troop as a minority leader should have been looking out and ensuring that his councillors are up and running. When we were a minority, so you have Homer there with you. Homer, myself, Deputy Mayor Williams. We would meet, we look on the issues that are before the council, and we make representation. What I can deal with or I don't choose not to want to deal with, I said, Homer, you take on this particular issue. Councillor Williams, you take on this particular issue. It was 3 of us. We brought resolution from different things. Bogland, I mean, there are so many things. You will take up an entire program for you to understand the scrutiny, how we were looking at things to ensure that things were run properly in the council.
Right. But Mayor, as Senator Sinclair just mentioned a while ago, you sit in a very peculiar position because you, in that matter, based on the law quoted, had no say in the issue at all. None. You couldn't.
Chopper, the minutes of the meeting is conclusive. It didn't require a vote.
Right.
But I would go further to say, Chopper, that these 2 councillors have betrayed the trust and confidence that the electors gave them in 2016.
Yes.
Because as Senator Sinclair said, all of us were given a handbook, and that handbook states clearly what are the do's and what are the don'ts. So I you know, we're talking about attendance to meeting, and I did it at the press conference, but for this discussion that we're having here now, I could say to your listeners who weren't listening to that press conference, since the start of January this year, we have had 6 council meetings. 6. And bear me out, I'll just explain the whole question of the attendance record. Homer Davis, 6 meetings. Leroy Williams, 5 meetings. Charles Sinclair, 6 meetings. Everest Cook, 6 meetings. Mark McGann, 6 meetings. Councillor Crawford, 5 meetings. Councillor Cummings, 5 meetings. Councillor Graham, 6 meetings. Councillor Murray, 5 meetings. Councillor Wynne, 6 meetings. Councillor Vernon, 6 meetings. Councillor Lynch, 6 meetings. Councillor Brown, 3 meetings. Councillor Reid, 2 meetings. Councillor Bent, 1 meeting. Councillor Troop, 4 meetings. And Councillor Thomas, 3 meetings. So you see the trend.
It's obvious.
Where the minority don't see attending meeting as a priority.
Yes. But there's a reason.
And that is it. The record is there to show.
Yes.
The record is there to show. And as Senator Sinclair has said, is that if they were having regular caucus, regular discussion, then they would have realized that, you know, Councillor A or Councillor B, we haven't seen it.
But they might be having their caucus meetings, you know. Senator Sinclair, we lost Mayor there from it. I think he's gonna come back. But they might be having their caucus meetings because a little birdie, you know, dropped me a note a couple of days ago, and the note was telling me that the information with regards to the attendance report came through from the opposition caucus. I'm just telling you what they told me. I'm in the streets, Mayor. I can't help it. People walk up to me and tell me these things.
That's what good journalism is all about, you know. Always receiving things under your door. But you know,
and when I ask the question I want to ask, and I've been asking this question to some of my friends, why is this so? And they broke it down to me. They said, let's look at the dynamics. Councillor A and Councillor B is from the Rise United camp. And Councillor C and Councillor D is from the One PNP gang. So basically, you guys are caught now in the middle trying to clean up an internal mess. That have no business with.
Understand that one, Chappie. I wasn't looking at it like that. But now that you're saying it, you know.
I don't want you to mix me up in a bangarang, you know.
Look, I'm just telling you what the notes say, you know. That's what the people tell me in the street. Them support Charlie. They support Charlie, poor mayor. They're part into that web.
Chopper.
But you know something on Chopper?
Yeah.
You notice over the same 6-month period, the minority leader, he attended 4 meetings, you know.
I'm not saying a word. I'm just telling you what the whole people will see it.
He makes sure to protect himself.
So there's 4 there to support Rise United, to support the PNP. 2 that went away is from the Rise United, and the 2 that stays from 1 PNP. I am just reporting it. The public can do the math. They're bright people.
But I can give you the attendance.
Yes.
I can give you the attendance. You know, 1 attended 4 times, 1 attended 3 times, right? 1 attended 1 time, and 1 attended 2 times. And so, you know, you might be onto something there. But that is not what we took into consideration, is what the minister was showing, that these guys weren't attending meetings. And it was quite surprising to me. Very surprising.
They wouldn't put on the meeting. The minority leader wouldn't drop you a note to say why they're not attending or why they weren't reminded to attend. Because he's a veteran. He knows.
And let me tell you, it's somebody who knock on my door pretty often, you know. But they have never discussed that. Even the day before council meeting, he knocked on my door and he didn't mention anything that, you know, there's a problem. You understand?
Well,
and that is when he wants us now to discuss it.
I tell you.
But read that Linstead market thing you're talking about.
Yes.
I'm just gonna
just give me 1 second before you
okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Senator.
You go on to the Linstead market. You know, and I just want to also say this, Chopper.
Yes.
Because you see, I've known Homer for a long time. And he would have known me for a similarly long time. It's not politics that brought us together, you know. We are out of a different type of friendship. Homer and my old man, my father, would have had a good relationship. And that is where I first heard about this Homer Davis, because he provided certain services to my father in his business. He was involved in trucking and so forth. You know, and I think, and I'm blowing my trumpet, but I believe that we are persons of high integrity. And so what hurt me is to hear the leader of the opposition come out and make certain baseless accusations against the St. James Municipal Corporation. And if you look back on our record at the corporation, myself and Homer, so as I said, sometimes I may be the spokesman, right? But it may have a lot of the things, as I said, arise out of discussion. Homer is seeing something that I may not have seen, right? We have defended the council when we were in minority on the Borgland. When they were, the PNP was seeking to sell the Borgland for an undervalue. We defended that position because it was our view that you cannot give away government land to political hacks. And that is what the PNP was seeking to do, involving a council who is an occupant of the Borgland. Capture the Borgland and want it at a lower value than what it was valued.
Yes.
And between myself, Homer, Deputy Mayor now, Williams, when we were the minority, we wrote to the Contractor General, you know. And the Contractor General issued a report, now the Integrity Commission, which was in support of the position that we took.
Mm-hmm.
to say you cannot dispose of government land in that fashion that you are seeking to do, Mayor Davis and his majority. You know? So you can go and research it. Yes. And you will see the integrity of the council as a minority. We use the avenues that were open to us. And when I hear the leader of the opposition come out with his basis commentary and talking about oversight, and we are trying to move oversight. Let me tell you something. I, as a council, in the majority now, I'm providing oversight because nothing can take place in that council unless it is properly scrutinized. I will ask every question, probably to the annoyance of some. Doesn't matter to me because I am there for one thing. Bottom line, what is in the best interest of the people of St. James. And we have to protect the integrity of the organization in which we participate, which is the St. James Municipal Corporation. And as I said, Mayor Davis, Williams, these youngsters that we have with us, first timers, they have been doing a tremendous job also in providing oversight. But let us compare the minority. And I don't know if Homer has the record there with him. He can tell you. The LPAC, Homer, can you tell us what is because that's the oversight committee for the corporation,
Yes.
We have 3 from the majority, 3 from the minority on it, along with 3 from civil society. The mayor cannot be on it, and the finance chairman cannot be on it.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the persons with certain responsibilities. They are excluded. So that means that you can even criticize. You can't go in there and criticize the mayor, what he's doing.
Right.
Because he cannot sit on it. And the finance chairman. It is chaired by civil society. I just ask the mayor to tell you what is the attendance record for the 3 PNP councils. 3 PNP councils. 1 being the deputy mayor. Michael True.
The minority leader, Councillor Reid and Councillor Thomas. My record is showing me that they have not attended 1 meeting in 2020.
Say that one more time for me, please.
In 2019, Councillor Thomas attended 1 meeting. Councillor Troop, no meeting. Councillor Reid, no meeting. That's what the records are showing.
Complaining then? Why are they complaining?
Well, that's what the records are showing.
This committee was here from 2016. 2016, the poorest attendance record.
Yes.
The minority leader.
Wow.
Councillor Reid.
And then
and leader of opposition. Out of order.
Well, Mayor, you have given an ultimatum for them to withdraw that statement. Was there a deadline issue? And if no such withdrawal were to come, what would be the next course of action?
The next course of action, we'll leave it in the court of public opinion to make their decision soon.
Yes. Awesome.
Right.
So, on to the action of the municipal police over there in Linstead. You're not obviously not from Linstead, but it's the municipal corporation. Equivalent to what you have in Montego Bay is the same thing in Linstead.
Yes.
Did you get a chance, first of all, did you get a chance to see the tape?
Yes, I looked at the tape, but let me say it. And it would appear that is what happens under a PNP mayor. I remember when Mayor Harris was the mayor, we had an enforcer at the Charles Garden Market. They called him Charfine. He went around with a hatchet.
Yes.
And he would chop off the wheels of the cart. He would chop the rope and take away the steering wheel and chop up the cart. So when I saw this guy this municipal officer in Linstead and say, oh my God, it look like this is the way they treat poor people. Yes, we have a time when we seize carts, but we don't mash up carts. No, we don't do it. No, and it's not only mashing up the cart, but they spill the produce on the ground.
Yes, and no regards. You could see that there was malice in the action of the officer.
If that
there was malice there, Senator Sinclair.
What I saw there, and because I see some people even trying to defend it, and I want to point out why it cannot be defended. If a motor vehicle, you drive your motor car, Chopper,
and you park it there,
you park in an illegal parking spot.
Yes.
The municipal police has a right under law, the Road Traffic Act, to tow it. Right? They don't have no right to take a sledgehammer and mash up a motor car.
Absolutely. They won't do it.
And mash up your goods in the car. They wouldn't do it. What I saw on the video, there is no excuse unless the municipal police is going to say that car belonged to him and the food and it was belonging to him, so he can destroy it if he wants to destroy it. There is nothing in the law that allows for him to do it. Right? The most he could do is to seize the cart, to take the items that are there, and to have the person prosecuted if they were vending in an illegal space.
Right.
And when I go back to, we in St. James, under the Jamaica label, because when I was mayor, no cart couldn't get destroyed. No cart. We would seize the cart, and I instruct my municipal police when I was mayor, do not take the entire produce. You take a sample in order to be able to establish your case at court.
Right.
Do not take the entire produce. You just take a sample of the item and do what you have to do. Ensure the record keeping is proper. Perishables, you have to dispose of it in a particular way, but you give them back the majority, because you don't have the right to forfeit their goods. Only a court can do that on the third offense. So what you saw in that video was totally wrong. And you know what it reminded me of? Because I saw the municipal police with a sledgehammer.
Yes.
No municipal police that went by a sledgehammer and carry out there with a policymaker.
Yes.
And so when I saw it, the first thing that came to my mind, Chopper, was the rope that a PNP council in St. James bought and tie up some people and carry them to St. Elizabeth.
Well, the history of the PNP. The history.
And so it shows you the attitude that they take, and they say they create a little image as if they are for poor people. They are not for poor people.
Not at all.
They don't
from a legal standpoint, Senator Sinclair, from a legal standpoint, is there any legal redress for the owner of that car?
Of course. In fact, I believe that a report should also be made to Indicom by the handcart operator. Yes. Because the municipal police has opened himself to malicious destruction of property.
Which is what I thought too, yes.
Because if it was a motor car, and then your motor car parking at the illegal parking spot, and then taking sledgehammer and mash it up. But what is the difference between that and a handcart? Put it to a bicycle then. A bicycle. Malicious destruction of property. So he has opened himself. And when I saw the response of the mayor of Spanish Town, poor response. Poor. Yes. And it caused the minister to have to get involved in the matter to say, look here, that man must be suspended at the very least, taking our frontline duty while an investigation is being done.
Yes.
And, we in St. James, we speak to our municipal officers. We provide training for the municipal officers. We have brought in persons from the courts to guide them as to how to prepare cases. We have brought in people who seek to speak to them in respect to good moral values, how to conduct themselves, how to deal with citizens on the road, and that type of. I'm going to say we are not perfect. We're not perfect, but these
But
are
you're certainly not issuing sledgehammers down there.
no, cannot. You know, we don't take like those things.
Brand new sledgehammer.
Yeah, and so I was impressed when Mayor keep calling me Mayor, but it was the boss of mayors, Minister Mackenzie.
Yes.
Stepped in and gave certain directives that must be followed by the mayor. You understand? Gave a strong response. We don't support that as a government. We don't support that type of behavior.
True.
As a government, not supportive. And so I do hope that, well, I have taken the tape and I have sent it to our municipal officers through the commercial services manager to show it to them to say this will never be the approach in St. James. And I'm sure in that regard, the mayor is 100% in support of that position.
And Chopper, I would love to see where they investigate as it relates to the procurement of that sledgehammer. Who gave the instructions to procure that sledgehammer? There must be some paper trail, you know. Some decision must have been taken at some committee meeting to purchase sledgehammer. And why would you want to purchase sledgehammer to give municipal officers not to go out there and demolish and destroy person's car, destroy people's? Yeah. It must not only stop at the suspension of the municipal officer. We need to look right into procurement to see when that decision was taken
to purchase it.
A sledgehammer of that size, right?
Yeah.
Was bought, and what was the purpose? Why it was bought?
Yes.
And I'm sure that I remember, you know, and Senator mentioned it. I remember in the inquiry when the street people were taken up off the street of Montego Bay and dumped into a lake over in St. Elizabeth. It was revealed by one of the witnesses that the rope that they used to tie them was new rope. Brand new. When they start checking the record of the municipal corporation, they saw where the purchase order was written up to a particular hardware to purchase rope. Who was the person who instructed that the rope be bought? Yes. The rope was bought the day before the people were scraped up off the street and tied and take over to St. Elizabeth.
There's a history, there's a pattern.
Of course, it's a pattern.
Wow.
It is a pattern. Wow. Because as I said before, the previous administration had an enforcer down by the Charles market. He harmed himself with an hatchet. Right? With an hatchet. And that is half down there. Right? Right? So it is a trend.
And I laugh not because it's a joke, but it is just how evident it is that these people are consistent with that type of behavior. The consistency.
Exactly. No, I mean, we could go on, you know, because I mean, even the previous administration, there was councillors working on the back of the municipal truck, seizing people things and throwing all type of things in the back of the truck. We have video of that.
Mayor,
right? We have video of that.
It looks like we might have to come back here, Charlie, for round 2.
We have video of that. Right?
We might have to come back for part 2 of this conversation, gentlemen, because this is getting deep.
Well, you know, yes, I mean, a lot of things are taking place, you know. Yes. A lot of things have taken place, right? At some point, we were wondering if we were at the right place. Yes. In committee meetings, just say anything in committee meetings, you know. And then one day I have to say to them, no, you don't respect the administration, man. Eh? These guys, come on, you know, they must not see power for a very long time. Right? They must not see power for a very long time. Right? They treat the people.
at the rate of how you and your team is operating, Mayor, it is obvious that power will not be transferred into their hands in any.
Chopper.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Nothing in the near future.
I'm going to give you a research to show you, just to confirm what Mayor is saying. So it is out there in the public space.
Yes.
And not refuted. Do you know that Michael True, as deputy mayor, when we were in the minority, moved a resolution when we were on the Bogland issue and the little chicken business that they were going on with in relation to the Bogland. And I discussed that earlier. Move a motion at the council that Charles Sinclair is not to be permitted to speak in a council meeting. I've never heard that before. Moved by council deputy mayor at the time.
Saying that you're not supposed to speak.
You're not supposed to speak in a council meeting. Seconded by Martin Keller. Go and research it, Chopper. Google it. Google it to see Charles Sinclair muzzled at council meeting, and you will find it. Because I was taking them on pertaining to them like a chicken or business in the Bogland. So they do some strange things, you know. As the mayor say, go and check the records in the commercial services. One particular council name written there, say him gone out and seize goods. And he do have authority to seize people goods. Seize people goods.
Gentlemen, we will have to come back and take this one up. And I promise you, we're going to have to do it again, Mayor, because there's some, you know, I have an interest in understanding that era in which you guys operate as opposition. I want to go back there. And I'll tell you why. There's a missing piece of the puzzle that a lot of Jamaicans, especially new voters, don't know. A lot of new voters who are voting for you today don't know what happened in the 1990s. They have no clue. And it is our duty to kind of go back and revisit these decisions that were taken by the PNP and highlight them. Gentlemen, it was indeed.
I would like to say one thing, Chopper.
Yes.
Since the removal of the street people from Montego Bay and dumped into St. Elizabeth,
yes.
Since the capturing of Boglands, the People's National Party, as the people of St. James, has lost trust and confidence in them, and they will have a very hard time in regaining or retaining this parish of St. James. They have done some wicked things to the people of St. James, right? And the people don't forget it. They don't forget it. That, right? Moving, taking away those people from St. James and dumped them in St. Elizabeth. And they didn't stop there. They came back and captured the Boglands. And the people of St. James take that and say, listen, we cannot trust you with power in St. James. And they will be in the political wilderness in St. James for a very long time. The people won't forget that. So, Chopper, there's a lot more to say.
Yes, and
there's a lot more stories to say.
We are coming back to that.
You know what I would suggest, though, Chopper?
Yes.
I would like for you to check the archives, right? In the previous administration, before I became mayor, and look at some of the things that took place during that period of time, and compare it to now.
Yes.
This present leadership, right? When I first went to the municipality as the mayor, I had a meeting with my heads of department, my CEO, and I said, listen, we have to raise the bar. The people on the street don't have good things to say about the municipal corporation. They think it's just one big corruption. And right now, if a survey is done, we are in a much better place than previous years.
Yes.
Under previous administration.
That's the word on the street.
So it hurt us badly. It hurt us when I hear the leader of the opposition without getting the facts
Yes.
of how his minority is performing or not performing, and come and make this broadside statement.
But Mayor,
right?
perhaps his statement was made, you know, with a view to walk the dog, so to speak, to distract, to bring you in a direction.
Well, well, he has always made statements, you know. Because I was looking at a statement today when he was saying at some meeting, one soon dead, one soon go to prison. And we know how that go.
We know that went.
We know how that go. You know. We know how that go. You understand? What time people have about to say, if you are dig hole for your man, dig two.
Yes.
You understand? Dig one for yourself. Right?
Yeah.
So, Chapman,
we will have
good night. And I'm going to get some rest. I know you wanted was to speak to me about the constituency, but I guess probably between Charles and I, you can't have the two of us at the same time. We have too much information.
But we're coming back. We're going to come back again, and we're going to do this because there's a lot more that we need to talk about. Mayor Homer Davis.
All right, Chapman.
Charlie.
Take it easy.
Take care.
God bless you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Good.